Hi, we're Piers and Andy from Me and My Golf, and we're at the Reunion Resort in Orlando, Florida, and we are talking about elevation and weather. Now Andy, elevation is an interesting one because obviously if we are having slopes, if we're going up, we're going down, it's going to affect how far the golf ball goes. So for instance, on an uphill shot, how's it going to affect it?
Well, look, the uphill shot doesn't travel as far, Piers, and I think this is a mistake that all golfers make, well, a lot of golfers, they just underestimate or don't consider that when they're selecting the club. So on an uphill shot, we're going to need to select more club, and a downhill shot, we're going to need to select less club.
So perfect, Andy, with the slopes, so obviously make sure you make those adjustments. Now wind, a lot of wind here today on the golf course, has a massive effect on how the golf ball flies, especially into the wind. We see a lot of golfers really struggle with actually getting enough club to get the golf ball on the green, don't we?
Yeah, and just allowing for it. The ball obviously is going to be massively affected by the wind, especially into the breeze, Piers. And I think what golfers do into the breeze a lot of the times is they just try and hit a little bit harder with the same club. But the problem is when they hit it harder with the same club, it gives a little bit more spin on the golf ball, and then it just rises, and then we're going to lose distance. So there's certain things that golfers obviously can do to make it easier to hit the target when playing in these tricky conditions, Piers.
Okay, so before we get into that, let's look at the situation we have here. So we've got 150, 148 yards to the flag. We can see from the GPS here that the wind is into and off the right, and there's a good strong wind there, sort of gusting anywhere between 15 and 20 miles per hour here. So we definitely need to knock that ball flight down. How are we going to do that?
Okay, well look, in this situation we've got 148 to the flag. That normally for me is an 8-iron. That's my perfect 8-iron spot. But in this situation, wind into off the right, there's no way I'm going to hit the 8-iron. I want to make sure that I can reduce the spin, maybe keep the ball flight down a little bit. So I'm actually going to go with a 6-iron, Piers, 2 clubs more.
Okay.
Now the great thing about this is by going 2 clubs more, I don't have to hit it as hard. And when I hit it a little softer, I'm going to reduce the spin so it doesn't climb and actually fall short. I want to make sure I'm getting it there. That's the key thing.
Okay, so let's have a look at the technique and how you're going to do this. There's
Okay,
a few things you want to do in your setup, I think.
Definitely. So as we mentioned, I'm going to hit it softer. I'm going to move the ball a little further back in the stance, so I'm hitting a little more down on the shot. But from here, I'm really focusing on keeping almost like a 3/4 swing back and through, but a lot softer. The wrists are quite passive as well. And what this is really going to help do is keep the loft off the face. But I think the key thing when I'm doing this shot, Piers, it is hardly any speed. I'm probably going to go about 60–70% speed, so I make sure that it doesn't spin too much.
Okay, let's see you play then.
Okay, so anywhere on the green here I'd be delighted with.
Really picking up. It's gone up a little bit more. It's up about that 20 now, Andy, so.
Okay, so ball back, and again, just almost like a little chip shot here, really.
Yeah, very nice.
Ball comes out low there, again, it doesn't climb too much there, and I'll just make sure I get enough out there, again, landing nicely on the green there, I'm safe.
Control, control. So look, what we're looking at here is, guys, make sure, look at your GPS, make sure you check out the wind, make sure you check out the elevation. It's definitely going to help you.